Our regular viewers will know that UK column often comes in at a different angle from other reports. And one of the things that certainly Ben and myself and Diane have been looking at over quite a few weeks is what is going on in this country. And we're going to encourage our audience today to stay calm, carry on, and have a look at what's happening in this country before you start to judge what's happening overseas. And there's no other place to start, unfortunately, than with Keir Starmer. Now, probably I should have had a bigger photo of him, but here he is, spewing words of wisdom about what's happening in the Middle East. And how can we describe this man? I don't trust him at all. Flaccid is another term I would use to describe him. But the key point is that this man is running a death cult. Now, some of this has been up on UK column over the last few days, but of course we've got the assisted dying bill that is about death. And we've also got the decriminalisation of abortion. That is also about death of babies. We have a massive censorship campaign running under the surface, and the UK column has been warning about this for a great many years. We've also got unlimited propaganda. I asked Ben to suggest me an image before as we were compiling the news today, and Ben said, well, the only thing you should choose is BBC, and he's absolutely correct, but a massive propaganda campaign running 24 hours a day in the UK. We've got the grooming gang Smokescreen, and I'm going to say to the audience today, if you think that I am banging on about this particular subject, I can tell you are going to hear more and more about child abuse, because this is a subject the government knows it can use in order to distract the public from what is going on in other key areas. People are going to get more and more passionate about this as more and more vile stuff comes to the surface. But of course, the government can also inflame one group of the community against another. So grooming gangs, exceptionally dangerous. Diane is going to be talking about this a little bit more. But of course, we've also got this happening, and Ben in particular has been delving into this subject, the destruction of our constitution. And where is this all leading at the moment? Well, not only the demise of UK, but the fact we've now got these horrific war zones, which UK, Keir Starmer's government now, we can see very clearly, have helped to foment. And what does it look like on the front line? Well, if we just move forward and have a look at some of the images from the Middle East, we will see that there are some really bad things happening. And Keir Starmer's involved. Who's he working for? Is it for the World Economic Forum? Is it for UK, or is it for Israel? We don't know. Let's have a look at some of the images here. I have not chosen anything too horrific, but nevertheless, we're going to have a look at what is represented here as this as this conflict unfolds, not only in Israel and Gaza and with Iran, but also in other parts of the world, such as Ukraine. We've got some shots here of Iranian drones and missiles coming in over Israel. This is a direct hit on one of the Iron Dome sites with a missile cooking off. So there is no doubt that Iran is doing tremendous damage in Israel at the moment, although the BBC doesn't want to report it. And conversely, of course, we've still got horrific damage in Iran by the Israeli forces. Now, I don't know what this location is, but by the colour of the smoke, there is something industrial, whether that's fuel or chemicals burning off. And then we get to the bizarre situation where, of course, we have this message, thank you, Mr. President Trump, posted up in Tel Aviv, childish behaviour by Israel as a nation state, and apparently we should be grateful to Trump. I don't think so. Diane, let's bring you in because, of course, you've picked up that across UK, if you go into a hotel, if you go into a pub or a club, you're very likely to see a TV screen, which will be the BBC, simply rolling and rolling propaganda about what's happening in the world. And you've picked up on this particular image. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Hello, Ben. Happy to be here today. I was just watching the BBC yesterday morning just so that the audience doesn't have to. And this particular image was up on the screen for a couple of minutes, and I just took a photo of it from my own television. There's a number of things going on here, I think, in this photo. One is that we see that BBC Verify and Mariana Spring and the rest of her team were obviously being kind enough to tell us exactly where the US bombed the nuclear sites in Iran. So it's really good to know that they've got our best interest at heart so that we see the actual Google Earth image or whatever it is. You also have the convenience of picking up your phone and scanning the QR code to find out even more, which is wonderful news because then they know that you've got your phone on you at all times and that you're looking at the right things at the right times. Which is really interesting as well is that the ticker at the bottom says that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres is gravely alarmed by the use of force by the US against Iran, which is all part of the confusion that I believe we'll be covering a little bit later in the news, Brian.
Yes, 24-hour a day propaganda by the BBC, and certainly the UK column audience is noticing that what they don't want to cover is the destruction in either Ukraine. We don't talk about the real damage to the Ukrainian economy or the people or the Ukrainian military. Don't want to give the UK public the truth there. And the same is now happening with regard to Israel and Iran, that we are not to be told the suffering going on inside Israel as a result of clearly very large Iranian tax hitting home. So the UK public treated as children, particularly by the BBC, and it's up to alternative media channels such as the UK column to get the top off this.